Hey guys, so today let's talk about why Team Secret didn't make it into the majors. So as we can see, they won 3 games, lost 4 games. They were actually 1 game away from making it into a tiebreaker match against Team Liquid and Team Tundra. So why did this happen? If we look at their lineup, Sumail, Nisha, Puppey, all star players, Yapsor, Iceiceice, also great players. There's no obvious flaw in their team. So what was the problem? What made it that they struggled so much to make it into the majors, right? So I think first of all, they have 2 mid players, Sumail and Nisha. Right now, Sumail's playing core, and because of this, his hero pool is very limited. They've been working on this for a long time already, and it's getting much better, but still Sumail has a very limited hero pool. And then because of this, that actually makes their drafting a lot harder, which I'll get into later. If not for the reasons you guys think, but for something else. And then the second reason I think is because also since Sumail is now a core player, him and Puppey don't actually mesh together well. A lot of times Puppey leaves Sumail alone and then Sumail gets harassed down almost dead. And this could be avoided either if Puppey stays in the lane or if Sumail just played a little safer while he's gone. Also, sometimes Puppey is a little greedier in the lane, which also doesn't go well with Sumail, who tries to get every last hit and gets harassed so he doesn't have enough heals. And then I think the last reason why their team struggles so much is because they have Iceiceice playing a role of an initiator. I don't think it suits his style, not his personal skill set. What he does excel at, I think, is playing a tanky position 3 that pushes the lane and drags the attention of the enemy team to his lane and gives his teammates space to farm. So let's look into the clips and see if you guys agree with me. Alright, so let's take a look at this first clip. This is a game against Gladiators, game 2, and other than the obvious reason that if Sumail has a smaller hero pool, you have less heroes that you can pick and do well in, it brings a big problem to Team Secret. If we take a look at the enemy bans, they actually don't spend any of their bans for the core position. They completely ignore Sumail in the draft, right? So this is actually a huge problem because they can ban out Nisha, or they can make Iceiceice's life a lot harder, whichever they want. It just makes drafting for the enemy team so much easier, right? So for example, since Sumail only has that amount of heroes, they can just counter whatever he picks, and then normally maybe Nisha could pick a hero that counters the hero that counters Sumail, if that makes sense. But because it's so limited that they can just ban out all the heroes there, and it can make drafting for the enemies so much easier, right? So if we take a look at the lanes, obviously other than top laning being easier to play against because Sumail only plays those heroes, it also makes Nisha's game a lot harder because he has to play a variety of different heroes now that he gets banned out a lot in most of the games really often. And if we take a look, Sumail actually plays Mars here, which is out of the ordinary, right? They're trying to do something special to try and shake up the enemy team, but Sumail doesn't play Mars as much as his other heroes, right? So it's not his fault that he doesn't play the hero as well because he doesn't have experience. He just plays the hero for his team that requires it. For example, this is really strong lane, Mars and Snapfire, right? They can kill almost anybody if Mars gets a stun off, even if Yapsor gets a stun first, right? Right here, they spear him, he dies. If they get Tidehunter should die. Even if he doesn't die, he has to use like a pot and a tango to heal up, which he doesn't have. They just harass, really strong in lane. They do win this lane, which is great, but they don't win it as hard as they should have. And if we take a look, because they make him play heroes that he's not familiar with, often comes the times where Sumail misses like a key spell or something that ends up like right here. If we take a look, Sumail tries to spear Ember right here. He misses, not his fault, doesn't play the hero much, just doesn't know the speed of that, which results in Nisha going in, and then Nisha ends up dying, right? Which is a huge problem because he's the top net worth, he dies. Ember is the top net worth on the enemy team, doesn't die, and then the 2 supports also die, and Sumail lives by himself. So they actually lose like what, 3-4k from this. Their lead completely goes away. And it's not Sumail's fault, right? Because he's just playing the heroes for his team, right? Trying to counter the enemy draft. But it just, because of his hero pool, it just makes the drafting so much easier for the enemy team. Alright, so my next point is that Puppey and Sumail's playstyles don't go well together. So oftentimes we'll see that Puppey will leave Sumail in lane by himself. What he's going to do, especially Enchantress or Chen, he goes out to find creeps, right? He spends a lot of time going out to find creeps because his creep camps get blocked. And something to mention that for Puppey, like he'll try to deward once or twice, but if he like fails or the enemy comes back and dewards him again, Puppey will decide to just not spend the money and just let them. He'll just walk further away to get the creep camps, which is a really big problem, right? Because if he walks further, it gives the enemy more time to harass Sumail in lane. And then in the current patch, it's just so hard to last hit by yourself because both of them are going to try and deny at the same time, which makes it almost impossible for you to last hit. So we see Sumail has 1k right here. He has to avoid getting harassed while last hitting. You know, he actually can't avoid the Mars W, so he gets 2 creeps denied here. He gets pushed out of last hitting this range creep, and then because he got harassed, he decides to buy another set of heals, and then he actually has less net worth than he originally has, right? So it's not really Puppey's fault either because it's just different playstyles. So normally, if your position 5 leaves, right, some passive players will decide, okay, I'm gonna give up 1 or 2 last hits in order to keep my health healthy, and then when he comes back, I can do something with my position 5 player, right? But or you don't even have to get the last hits, you can just pull the creep aggro so they don't deny it. But Sumail's not that type of player. He's aggressive, right? He's gonna go in for the trades. He's gonna try and get every last hit, every deny. He's gonna try and outplay the enemy hero because he's the king, right? He's the GOAT. So that's what, oftentimes he'll just be trading the enemy team. In this current patch as well, the carry doesn't buy heals. They try to get their items as fast as possible. So it's all on the position 5 to give them the heals. And again, you know, Puppey will try and spend his gold as carefully as possible. He normally won't try he won't buy 2 salves or anything. He'll have 1, and he doesn't want to waste gold in case that second salve doesn't come in handy. But oftentimes Sumail always needs it, always low on health, so he often doesn't have time, doesn't have health to stay in the lane, and he doesn't get enough farm, which you can see here. His net worth starts to fall behind Mars. Like another example, if we look right here, again, so Puppey leaves, right? Sumail's trying to farm this creep wave. You know, Puppey just leaves all the way over there. In the meantime, he gets clicked down. He gets hit by the wave again. He has to blink away. Can't even get the XP, right? And then let's keep looking. Happens again. You know, Puppey uses his heal because he doesn't buy heals. He just uses his 3rd skill, which is fine, right? And then Puppey harasses a bit and then decides to leave again, which allows for Sumail to get harassed yet again. See, like this, he had full HP, right? Now he's almost dead, has to blink away again, and this creep wave comes in, but if Mars walks up, he still can't last hit, right? So he loses so much last hits because of this poor synergy between the 2 players' playstyles. Alright, let's take a look at another example for what I just said. So, you know, Puppey likes to leave Sumail alone. You know, GH and Puppey run around for a bit. GH decides to go back and help suppress Sumail. So it's already a really hard lane for Sumail to lane into DP, which is a range hero, right? There's 2 range heroes both clicking him and trying to ruin his last hits. Puppey in the meantime tries to get a creep to come back. So they're both just harassing him non-stop. They just keep hitting him. Even if they can't get the last hit, you know, they just mess up the last hit so Sumail can't get it, which makes Sumail's game so hard. Like right here, they don't have to get it. They just make sure that Sumail doesn't get the farm. In the meantime, Sumail also doesn't have any heals, right? He depends on Puppey to give it to him, but you know, Puppey decides to harass whatever. Because of that, Sumail has to wait for his courier to walk back to get heals. It's just bad team play in general, because Puppey wants to leave, but then sees Sumail gets harassed and can't even come to lane anymore. So he decides to come back and give him a tango, right? They're both just wasting time in this lane. Like, even after giving him the tango, because he got harassed so much, he has to stay behind, can't go up to farm, right? He misses out so much last hits. You know, Puppey, because of that, you know, he doesn't deward either. It just makes the lane so much harder for Sumail. So oftentimes, because their playstyles don't match up together, like even if they had like a winning lane, it ends up being not as favorable as they should have, and that's a big problem for Secret. So Sumail's hero pool and his playstyle with Puppey, you know, all those things will come as they play longer together. You know, their Secret's just gonna get better and better. But there's one thing I think that they can do right now is change the way that they're drafting for Iceiceice, and that's my third point. So I don't think he's the type of player that initiates very well. Right now, what they do is they have him on heroes like DK, Sand King, you know, Bad Rider, that he just blinks in and initiates first. But I don't think that's something that he's especially good with. What he is good at is playing those tank heroes, staying in a lane, getting tanky items, and just attracting everybody to go to his lane while his team can farm, right? I think that's a better use of his skill. Let's take a look right here. So he turns into dragon form. He actually tries to stun an Abaddon that dies already, you know, instead of going for the Huskar that's over here. And because he doesn't blink anymore, he walks in, resulting in the enemy team actually saving Huskar, and their team gets drive back, right? Which is, you know, originally it was a really big win for them, not anymore. Now it's just a small win. Let's take a look at further down the road. You know, it's just something that Iceiceice isn't that great at. So I think they definitely should change the way they're using him, if that makes sense. Like, let's take a look right here, right? So Tusk goes in, right? He gets pulled by Bane immediately, all right? DK has Blink. They have vision of Huskar and Monkey King. CK pulls him in. He's still stunned, still getting pulled. Why does Iceiceice blink over and stun him instead of stopping the other two cores from coming over? So, right? He doesn't stop them, and then they end up just losing this fight because they just come in and just destroy Sumail. Their heroes also counter Sumail, so it would be great if Iceiceice could stop them, right? If he was a tank hero, he would have easily, like Pillar would have walked up and just put the pit right there, right? But instead, because he's DK, his thought process is, oh, I gotta initiate whatever. Like he just blinked and stunned the Tusk that was being gripped, and not even halfway through the grip. So, you know, it's just something I think that Secret should definitely think about. You know, use every player you have to their best abilities, not the ones that they're not that capable at. Another reason why I think Iceiceice isn't the best initiator for their team is because oftentimes he doesn't see the situation fast enough or clearly enough, which results in him making not the best choice or the best plays possible. So this is let's take a look at this. This is his first time getting blinked. The enemy team doesn't know he has a blink, right? He's waiting for his ult. That's fine, you know. I would argue that he can just stun 9 immediately. They can go on him, but he waits for his ult. That's fine. He tries to ult, but he realized the enemy walks too far away, so he cancels it. Actually gets seen by the creep here, right? So when he tries to do it again, when he walks closer, Saksa stops him. Great play from Saksa. So his blink is already, like, the element of surprise is already gone right now. He does get a stun on Snake King, but they don't kill him because, you know, their team is a lot of healing, then he gets away, whatever. So next they try and smoke with SF coming back. And then he makes another mistake here. Like, they see Saksa here. He has blink, he has stun. He decides not to use it because he doesn't have Sandstorm. He's afraid to die, right? But that's not the case here because they have Io with Tether still up. They have Omni Knight, they have Cookie that's coming here. There's no way they're going to kill him, but he decides not to go in. Fine, I guess. So not the best choice, right? And then now he has Sandstorm. Now he decides, I'm gonna go in. So he goes in, they don't get a kill again, and when we look further down the fight, he almost dies, gets saved, right? And then here they go on Luna. He's gonna have blink. Here, instead of blinking and stunning to secure a Luna kill, he actually tries to use Epicenter, which gives Luna the chance to use her ult, right? And then because of this, it results in Team Secret having to back off a bit, and they don't get the kill on Skitter, which is a big kill for them. So that's why I think that, you know, Iceiceice isn't the best at immediately identifying what's the best play in these situations. So he shouldn't be the initiator of the team. He should be the tank that just divides the battlefield for them and maybe have Nisha initiate, right? So throughout the game, he makes a lot of these plays. He also misses a lot of stuns. And then, yeah, I definitely think if Secret wants to increase their win rate, this is something they can work on. You know, you always, like I said, use your players to the best of their capabilities, right? So, yeah, let me know if you guys agree with me. If you don't, you know, leave a comment. We can talk about it. But yeah, that's it for now. See you guys.